Hello there.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Busy as always.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds normal.
yeah, but we're good. We're good. Yeah,
Good.
excited. Yeah. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Are you?
I am.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. To get on here and be like, yeah, I've been feeling good. We've had 2 weeks off since our last call.
Yep.
I've been feeling good for a couple of weeks. Isn't that crazy?
You survived.
What is my life?
Your life is freedom. Congratulations.
All right. Well,
For you. All right, bye. No, bye now. No. No, but seriously. No, it's I think we talked about this after our last meeting. Like, it's really cool when you really put in all the work, and not the people that haven't reached the end haven't put in a lot of work already, but this idea of like you put in the work and you just you hit all the right buttons and you meet the right people and you get on the right program and you do, and it all comes together. It all finally comes together and you find that road of satisfaction and you're just like, whoa, like that feeling is so freeing.
absolutely.
Ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as far as I am concerned, you're graduated. Like, you're there.
Yeah. I mean, this is just the graduation party.
Yeah, pretty much. I should have brought one of those, the woo,
Yeah. Oh, we could do
like
something. There you go. I don't know. Does yours do it? Some people have special powers and some people don't. It's okay.
oh.
I'll give myself confetti.
I will. I have these little colored strips. I can make this work. Here, there we go. Okay, see.
Woo! Yay! All right. So for the viewers, Jonathan and I have discussed that this is really our last coaching call. I mean, we're still friends. We're still going to talk to each other.
Oh, I thought it was just, usually I just never talk to anybody. Yeah. Well, okay,
So,
cool. I'm glad I know that now.
And yeah, like I feel like you have walked me through like a really rough time. And so I'm super thankful for that. Like, just the whole hyperthyroidism thing. I mean, thyroidism not only messes with your body, but it messes with your brain also.
Mm-hmm.
Did not realize that. I that's new things that I have learned. And just to have your support and, like your wisdom walking me through it like every week, just invaluable. So 100% thankful for that. This week I've been thinking about, everything that I have gained from this whole, it's been 6 months, about 6 months.
Yep.
And it's just so many things. And it's funny how it's not what I expected when we started, because when we started, I didn't know that I was hyperthyroid yet. I was like, I think I have some stuff going on because of these metrics. I want to start getting more fit. And I thought maybe just getting more fit would fix those things, And then we started. I have these expectations of he's going to help me train for this 10K and just, get more active and maybe check on hormones and stuff. And then the hyperthyroidism thing came in and that kind of took over. So even though it wasn't like what I expected in the beginning, it is exactly what I ended up needing for this season. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes complete sense. And I think that's the beauty of it. And also the frustration is, generally speaking, when you start to really dig deep, you start to uncover things that you weren't aware of.
Yeah.
And honestly, like sometimes it goes really well and sometimes it doesn't. Like we had weeks that things felt like they were going backwards and we're like, oh my gosh. And I'm not gonna lie, right? Like I wish that I could lie, like some people out there, nobody specifically that we know, just people out there, and say that it's a 100% success rate. But sometimes like the weeks don't get, sometimes you don't solve it, right? And so there's also that idea of like, it's awesome when that does happen, when we hit everything on the money and we bide our time and we do all the right things and we make changes when we need to make them and we end up getting to that sweet place of victory, of satisfaction with everything. And It's not a rare occurrence, but it's really nice because I've worked with people and have seen case studies of people that their situations don't get resolved and they're more complicated than others. And I just point that out because I want them to feel heard too. Like some people are more complicated than others, but yeah, it's just the idea of it's really nice when you get to that end result, regardless of what's thrown at you in the process. And then I really enjoyed it. Like I remember when I reached out because I was like watching your videos and I was just like, man, there's something there. I don't know what it is yet, but there's something. And you've taught me a lot. I've never considered myself a thyroid expert, and I still don't. I'm not going to sit here and tell people I'm a thyroid specialist.
So complicated.
No, I'm definitely a hormone metabolic health specialist, which incorporates thyroid. I know a lot more now about thyroid health than I did.
Yeah.
You definitely sent me down some rabbit holes. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful also for this experience. It's been a lot of fun. It's taught me a lot. I've been able to apply it to my other clients and know when, there's different red flags I didn't notice before that I notice now. It's quicker. It's easier for me to go, hey, you need to go see an endo. Like you need to go see an endo right now. Like I've seen this before now. And so that's been really cool. So it's been a fun process for me as well, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. And so there's so much info online about diet, nutrition, depending on what avenue you choose, whether it's keto or whatever, you can create for yourself all kinds of programs, whether it be diet or exercise or anything like that. It's for free. And I always had this idea, like, why would I pay for something when I could just go and get it for free? And there's a sense in which that is true. But what I've really learned from this process is just the other human being adds a value that you don't get from free information online.
Yeah.
And I mean, the information you gave to me is not all, stuff that I already knew. I'm not trying to say that. You definitely gave me more information than I already had, but I'm just emphasizing the value of having another human being to talk things through with and that you're accountable to, because I mean, I could create for myself an exercise program, but I maybe wouldn't keep myself accountable to it. But having that one extra, person checking in on you, knowing you're going to have the call, you're like, that's just a little bit extra motivation that I needed to actually get it done. And I feel like, especially with the running, I needed that. Like, I would not have done it. I would not have pushed through. I would have been like, this just isn't for me and I'm done. Maybe wouldn't have mentally said that, but like it would have ended up that way. Like, oh, I just won't do it this time. I'll get back to it. And then, it kind of falls off your schedule. And then you're like, oh, it's been 3 months and I haven't run once. That probably would have happened. But I feel like working with you and just having that extra motivation and, bouncing things off of you, like, I don't really think this is for me. And then for you saying, well, it takes time to adapt, like that was enough that it was like, okay, well, I'll keep pushing. And then, not that I'm a great runner or anything yet, but I started to see improvements like really shortly after that. And I was like, okay. Whereas if it was just me, like trying to do some running program that I got online, I would have been like, well, I'm done. You know what I mean? And so that being another human being, congratulations. That's really valuable.
Thank you. I appreciate you acknowledging that, because I understand that, like, and again, I'm very transparent and real, sometimes to my detriment. I understand that coaching, like nutrition coaching, is what I consider like what's the word? I say this often. I don't know why this word's not coming to my mind, but basically, like, you don't need it. Like, I understand that I'm something, like I'm a luxury item almost, right? Like if you can afford it, you do it, right? Like you get that privilege almost. I'm a privileged product, if you will. But people ask, they're like, okay, well, what's the need? And I always tell people there's 3 reasons why you get a coach. 3 reasons. It's either going to be for experience and education, time, or accountability /support. So either because you have to understand, like, when someone's paying me for coaching, they're not just paying me to give them macros. They're paying for the hours, months, and years I've spent digesting studies, going to school, all the things that they haven't done yet, so that I can give them the proper answers, which you can find some basic stuff on Google. But I mean, there's a point where, you have to spend hours that you just, and so you don't have the time to do those things, or time to build spreadsheets for yourself or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then accountability and support, right? Like, there's so many, I have quite a few clients that, like, they're very educated on keto. Like, they know, like, I hear them talk all the time. I've heard this so much. I know what to do. I just don't do it. Right. Like, I hear that. Right. And so I'm just there to go, hey, do it. Right. And so it varies from person to person, but I think, yeah, like, I really appreciate you acknowledging that, because I think that often goes missed. And when people, I do see this often, I see people, and this isn't me trying to talk anybody to buying coaching, right? Like, I think it's something that you can do if you can. If you can't, you can't. Yeah. But I think in terms of prioritizing investments and things like that in yourself, not just monetary, but like time, attention, whatever. Mm-hmm. People all the time, like, well, I can't, I can't allocate this or this time or these resources or whatever. And then they decide, and that's their argument for 4 or 5 years. And then they get type 2 diabetes, and now they're spending $200 a month on insulin, and they have to, and they find a way to afford it, because they couldn't live without it. Right. Like, they have to do it. And it's like, well, this could have been avoided for 6 months of your time 3 years ago, and you definitely wouldn't be here anymore. Mm-hmm. And so I think I think people tend to be more reactive than proactive, and that puts them in not good situations and stuff. And I could talk all day about that, but I just appreciate you acknowledging that. I think that's really something that's important to point out when people are deciding, like, what's the value in this? Why would this even be important or useful for me?
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing that I really feel like I've gotten out of this is getting all the different, not that I'm, at a perfect place, but just getting everything to a good place as far as diet, nutrition, sleep, stress. Like, I feel like I've just gone through phases where I'm really excited about whatever diet, and I'm really focusing, and that's all perfect. Like, my diet's perfect, but I'm not exercising at all. Or, I get excited about an exercise program, but it's like, oh, I'm exercising so much, I can eat, XYZ, I justify it. And so it's like, I would get certain pieces in place and other pieces would be out of place. But I feel like through this last 6 months, I've really worked on all of the pieces at the same time. So now I have my gut health, that piece is in place. My thyroid health, that piece is in place. My exercise, that piece is in place. My nutrition, and so it's like, I'm finally getting a picture of the whole, like the whole picture now of what, the level of health that I can achieve. Because when you don't have one of those, it's like, if you're doing all the exercise and all the eating right, but you're not sleeping, you're going to not have the whole picture of health. All these different things have to work together. And so this really helped push me, because I'm the kind of person where I will get excited about one thing and, hyper focus on it and put all of my energy into it. And I don't have any energy left for the other things, but I'm learning how beneficial it is to give time to all of them at once, and not hyper focus on any specific one, but just create more habits where I keep all of them kind of in line at the same time. And I'm learning that gives me a lot higher level of health when I do that than when I just hyperfixate on just going more carnivore, or, counting my macros to get exactly keto numbers, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, but I think that's the secret to it, right? The secret to it is that synergy. And, and that's one reason why, my company as a whole really prides itself on holistic health, holistic nutrition. This is a term we use. And it's not very niche. So it's not very sexy, and it's not very like tunneled, and that could be for better or worse. But like, I don't care, because it's important to me, because a lot of times you have people that get on programs or Google, and they're just focused on just their diet. And then they're just focused on, maybe it's my workouts are the problem, and they hyper focus on that. Like you said, like they're hyper focusing on just one thing, and that can be good in season. But if you're trying to find like steady health that's sustainable over the long term, the three facets of holistic health have to be in balance, and that it's mental health, physical health, and nutrition. Or sorry, physical health, mental health, and spiritual health, right? Physical health is activity and nutrition, and then mental health is mindset, self-worth. Spiritual health is, what are you living for? What's your purpose? What's your why? Higher power, all that good stuff. If those three things aren't in line, if there's a hole in one of those, like your lifestyle and your health growth are going to be inconsistent, and it's even most of the time probably going to go backwards. And so, like, I love that for you, because I think that's the secret sauce, really. Like, I think when you can find a way that not one thing is like over squeezed, and you're just like, and I don't want to say balance, because I think balance day to day is kind of like, I think sometimes it's about priorities and just making sure that you take time to prioritize everything in its own time. So I don't want to say like everything's balanced, because I don't think life is a balanced thing.
Yeah.
But just the idea of like everything's getting its due attention, and it's all in a healthy spot, and therefore it creates synergy in your life, which creates sustainability, which I think honestly, like, that is the goal. The goal is like a sustainable lifestyle. I think if you can do that, then you're in a really good spot. And it takes thinking about all those components, not just hyperfixating on one.
Yes. Yeah, 100% agree. And I feel like I'm like getting a feeling for how that manifests in my life now, getting, those things fairly in line. It's funny though, because, and we've talked about this, how that is not what gets the views on YouTube. Yeah. The things that get the view on YouTube is this one food will XYZ. This one diet will change everything. This workout plan is the one, it's just like, and the stories is like, I did this one thing for a month and this happened. And it's just like, oh,
welcome to my life.
Yeah. So we reiterate it again. This one thing is getting all the things in line.
That's
the only one thing that's gonna fix it.
No, it's hard, because like, and I mean, it's not genuine. Like, obviously, like I think that there's art to making content. Like, I think you make great content. I think obviously like my content can be better for sure. But I think when it comes to like growth has a lot more to do with super niching, being super stirring the pot. I don't know the word I'm looking for. I'm just gonna say that.
Causing reactions.
Like causing reactions, being very chaotic.
Yeah.
Right. Like feeding off hate, like intentionally making people hate you, like trolling, like all of that is what drives large views, large engagement. And all of that for me is very disingenuous, and for you too, I'd gather, right? And so that makes it hard to grow. It makes it hard to grow a lot, because you're not being super niche-y, and you're not being super clickbaity, and you're not being super, right? Because you found health, and it's like, but those things, like for me to talk about those things, well, some of it's true, a lot of it's not, and it just feels wrong.
Yeah, I sympathize with you, like especially after going through this and seeing just doing all these really basic things all at the same time, and having all of those basic things all at the same time going. That's the magic. It's not just one thing. It's not. Maybe that's what I'll title this one. It's not just one thing.
Hey, that might blow up. And if you're watching right now and it's blown up, you're welcome. So glad to do that for you.
Well, I am very happy with what we've done over the last 6 months, and I'm sure I will be reaching out with more questions as time goes on, because things, life, nothing ever stays the same.
Yeah, no, I'm always here to help. It's been very enjoyable for me to do this, and so. Shameless plug, just because we're on here, I might as well. By the time this probably goes out, we're gonna have launched the pre-launch of our fall group coaching.
Oh, group coaching! Awesome.
Yeah. It's called Fall into Progress, and it's a 12-week group coaching where you get customized macros or an intuitive eating plan by either me or Coach Mike. So we both handle it, and then there's 12 weeks of weekly live workshops. Monthly workout programs, community accountability, bunch of fun stuff. So
awesome.
starts October 7th. And so, yeah, by the time this goes out, it should be live. I can send you a link for it. But if anyone wants to sign up for it, I can. It's only like, I think you can pay, I think it's like $100 a month, or it's all 3 months up front for less than $300. So we wanted to make it like super affordable for anybody that wants to do it. So
yeah. So for people that aren't ready to jump into the one-on-one coaching, be a great intro into that. That sounds awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it'll be good. So yeah, anyways, everybody's interested in that. See you there.
I'll put all the stuff in the description.